Chelsea versus West Ham, or shall I say Chelsea versus Jared Bowen FC. Let's get straight into this. This game couldn't have started any worse than it did. Before even kicking a ball, we were hit with a liver shot straight away. Cole Palmer injured in the warm-ups. A late change saw Esteval come into the starting 11, who wasn't even supposed to be there. Immediately before a ball was even kicked, Chelsea's character was being put into question. How are you going to respond? No Cole Palmer, no main man. And it didn't take long for things to get even worse. At about 6 minutes in, Lucas Paqueta rifles one in from about 25 yards off the left-hand side. I've played football all my life, and there's certain strikes that are very hard to stop. That ball was hit with so much venom. It had swerve on it, it dipped, it moved through the air. As much as I criticize Robert Sanchez, I think I'm going to give him a free pass here. That's one of the hardest types of shots to judge, so only this time is he getting the benefit of the doubt. So the question was being asked about Chelsea. How's your bottle like? How's your mentality? And we actually responded quite quickly, with João Pedro scoring his first in Chelsea Blues in the Premier League from a set piece. Yes, Chelsea scoring set pieces. Clearly a training ground routine. Great moment for João Pedro. Within a few minutes, West Ham struck straight back with a goal from Fulkrug. However, it was deemed offside. For the neutral, that first 25 minutes of football was probably great to watch. For Arsenal, Spurs, these lot were probably loving it. After the celebrations were cut short for West Ham, we really started taking control of the game, and João Pedro this time became a provider, whipping the ball into the back post for Pedro Neto to score his first goal of the season. This guy, Pedro Neto, I'm probably going to speak a ton about him this season, but this man is criminally underrated. He is one of our most important players. He's a tireless workhorse. He scored last season some of the most clutch goals throughout our whole campaign. And guess what? Another moment where we needed somebody to step up and score the goal. Guess who it was? It was Pedro Neto. His work rate, his desire, and his selflessness for the team is just something to watch, honestly. I genuinely think if Enzo Maresca told him play left back in a back four, he would do it. He wouldn't complain, and he'd put in a shift for the badge. That's how much I love this guy right now. After he got that goal, the tide completely turned, and it turned in our favor. One of the main men responsible for the changing of the tides was 18-year-old Esteval. He made a mistake earlier, but he definitely redeemed himself. Liam Delap plays perfect target man football, sets it for Esteval, who goes on this sort of slalom, and just when you think he's about to let the ball, he's going to let it off with his right foot, he takes an extra touch, and squares it for Enzo Fernandez, who literally just had to tap the ball in. One of the easiest goals he will ever score in his career. From this point, West Ham fans began leaving the stadium, and it was all Chelsea from this point. The Olays started coming out. Now, I've got to pause here and talk about Esteval for a moment. He is 18 years old, and when a player comes in, especially a winger, when they're 18 years old, sometimes there's pressure on them. But it's actually the opposite. There should be no pressure whatsoever on an 18-year-old winger, especially at a big club. There should be no targets like you've got to score X amount of goals. No, none of that. Just play and enjoy yourself. He made that mistake earlier that led to the goal, but he picked his head up. And guess what? He definitely redeemed himself, and so did his team. His teammates, the Chelsea players, lifted him up. That's mentality. That's character. Not just from him, an 18-year-old, but also the rest of the Chelsea players on the pitch. That was probably the best part of the game. And do you know what it is? Every 6 months, I see this team jump up in maturity levels. Like, you just see the constant development. We bought a lot of these guys when they were 21, 22, 23, and now they're hitting those 25 ages, and they've played 40 or 40 to 60, some of them, games in the Premier League for Chelsea now. So they're not really young players anymore. They're well established. The second half was smooth sailing. West Ham offered next to nothing. I think they're in a lot of trouble this year. I think they're going to be in a relegation battle, and for the first time in a long time, we could be seeing West Ham in the Championship next year. I think unless they get a few signings through the door, it just looks like a mess over there. Conceding 8 goals and scoring 1 in your first 2 games is never a good look, and it just destroys a club's morale. Meanwhile, in the second half, Chelsea scored another set piece. Yes, this is Chelsea. We are scoring set pieces. Listen, I'm the first to bash Arsenal when they're playing that terroristic football, yeah, and scoring one goal from a set piece. However, I must admit, set pieces are a big part of football and you have to score them. Last season, we were 9th in the league for set pieces. Arsenal and Liverpool, who finished first and second in the table, were actually first and third in set pieces scored. You have to be resolute when defending set pieces, but you also have to score your corners, your free kicks when you get the opportunity. Because in the end of the day, they can be the decisive factor of you getting 3 points, 1 point, or essentially no points. We've clearly worked on them in the training ground, and I have to admit, I think a main component to us scoring 2 set pieces today was Liam Delap. He was doing that sort of Ben White role, that little shithousery where you stand in front of the keeper and just don't allow him to get any momentum and be able to punch the ball out. He'd done that a couple of times, and yeah, we scored because of them, so keep it up. If you told me that before the game even kicked off, we were going to be down 1-0 and Cole Palmer was going to get injured in the warm-up, and then you told me afterwards you're going to score 5 goals and absolutely thrash them, I would have shaken your hand. This is the exact bounce back that we needed. The goalkeeper situation still frustrates me. I think Robert Sanchez is going to cost us a lot of goals this season. He's playing well now, but he still has that bozo gene, and I feel like we have to address that in this window. If we don't, I think we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, looking ahead, we've got Fulham at home and we've got Brentford away. We could end up collecting 10 points in our first 4 games heading to Old Trafford, and this is just absolutely essential. We need to get these 6 points, because I think a game or 2 after that we have to play Liverpool. I'm not quite sure, I haven't checked if it's Anfield or not, but Liverpool, irregardless, it's never an easy game. When it comes to the Premier League, momentum's very important. If you go to that Manchester United game drawing 1 and maybe losing 1, you're in a lot of trouble, because right now, as much as we killed United last season for finishing 15th, they look good. They look good in that first game against Arsenal. And Mbeumo looks good, Cunha looks good. Even De Ligt looked like the Ajax De Ligt. Like, he was playing well. Of course, they've got keeper issues, but like us, but I wouldn't put it past them to get. I wouldn't put it past them not to get a result against us, but to really give us a game. So it's essential that we get maximum points heading into that game. And then who knows, if we beat United away and then we play Liverpool in a couple of games and we win that as well. Listen, those are title like challenging qualities when you're beating teams, especially like back-to-backs that are probably going to be in the top 6, top 7. It's a long road though. But listen, that's the end of the video. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, smash that notification and show some love to your boy.